Thank you for joining me for practice. Come to a seated position on your mat, comfortable for you, a place where you can feel steady and relaxed, a place to meditate on your breath, closing the eyes. You can have your hands on your knees, or you can lift the palms up, adding a little extra energy to yourself at this time. Maybe bringing the pointer finger to the thumb, and just letting the hands rest on the knees. Notice how you feel right now. Noticing your breath. Are you hurried? Are you relaxed? I'm trying to lose any tension, just letting it melt off your shoulders, relaxing the jaw. Relaxing the hips and the knees. Keeping your spine long and letting everything just melt down. Noticing where you're grounded on your mat. Maybe even moving yourself around a little, trying to find a little more balance beneath you. Maybe you're noticing that you need a little more support from the earth. Finding peace. Find yourself, your whole self, connected with your breath, with the earth, with your physical being. Finding yourself in a place of comfort and gratitude and support. Knowing that you deserve gratitude, comfort, and support. Knowing that you can offer gratitude, comfort, and support. Begin to deepen your breath on these thoughts of meditation. Feeling your rib cage expand and your belly coming to the spine on your exhale. Maybe inhaling into the side ribs or the back ribs. Keeping your spine long and tall and strong. Maybe having an equal inhale to exhale count of between 4 to 6, but not straining, just deep, natural breath. Feeling that length coming to you on your inhale. And dropping the chin down, not cranking the neck forward, just lowering the chin. Feeling a nice stretch in the back of the neck. And start to make some circles with the neck in one direction, keeping the shoulders down. And just changing directions when you're ready, but taking your time. And coming back to center. Just inhale the arms up, palms meeting together. Exhale, twisting over to the right. And twisting a little deeper on your exhale. And release, inhaling, arms come up. Palms meeting, pinky side first. And then exhaling, twisting to the left. Inhale, bring the arms up. Exhale, hands come to the mat and just start to walk them forward. Just folding over. And start to come up. Let's straighten their legs. And then come into hands and knees. And lifting up that tail, dropping the belly, and then coming to lift the chest. For cat-cows. Exhale, tucking the tail under, caving in that belly, pressing into the hands, separating the shoulders. Inhale, lifting the hips, dropping the belly, lifting the chest. Exhaling, scooping that belly under, pressing the hands into the mat. Let's do that 3 more times with your own breath. Exhaling, scooping under. Inhaling to lift the chest. And then coming to center. Let's take that right foot, right leg out behind us, stretching the calf, pressing into the toes, pressing the heel back, keeping the hips square and level with the mat. And then come up off the toes, lifting the foot. And you can see behind you that your toes are pointed down. And lift the leg up a little higher. And let's bring it all the way over to the right hand. And then pull the hips back. You might want to tuck your left toes. Or keeping the foot flat is fine too. And coming forward, bring the leg back just like you brought it around the first time. Now extending the left leg, pressing into that heel. And notice where your shoulders are, keeping the shoulder blades down away from the ears. Now lift that left leg up, checking your toes, making sure they're pointed down, lifting it up higher, as high as you can without opening the hip. Bring that left foot all the way over by the left hand and then pull the hips back. Lifting the leg up and coming back the way you came in. Let's make our legs nice or knees nice and wide, bringing the toes together, pulling the hips back and come into a quick child's pose. And coming back up onto the knees, taking your hands the same width as your shoulders, pressing in, lifting the hips and coming to down dog. Maybe pedaling your feet out, maybe other movements like swaying your hips or moving kind of back and forward from a plank to down dog. All those things are good and fine. But eventually coming to a place of stillness, pressing those heels down into the mat, keeping the shoulders away from the ears. Now let's step forward to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, bending the knees if you need to. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, let's come all the way up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the mat, stepping that right foot behind you. Inhale, lifting the chest up. Exhale, coming forward, pulling the hips back and coming to a half split over that left leg. Bringing the toes closer to the face. I'm trying to pull that left hip back. Folding from the hip. And coming forward, hands to the mat. Step back for a plank. Holding here. And you can drop to your knees or just come all the way down. Inhale, lifting up into a cobra. Exhale, coming down. Lengthen those legs, pressing the tops of the feet into the mat. Inhale, lifting up again. And then press into your hands, keeping your hips down on the mat. Breathing. And then exhale, come all the way down. Tucking those back toes. And then coming back into a down dog. Stepping that left foot forward now, dropping the back knee. Inhale, lifting the chest up, pressing into that left foot. Exhale, hands come to the mat. Let's step forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Sticking that tailbone out, lifting the chest up, just like we did for our cat-cows. Dropping the belly. And then exhale, folding forward. Pressing your hands into the mat or blocks. And bending your knees if you need to. Pausing here. Shifting the weight from your hips forward. Noticing the balance in your feet. Let's come up one vertebrae at a time. Inhaling the arms up. Shoulder blades are down. Palms can be together. Or right over the shoulders is fine as well. Legs are engaged. Feeling yourself lengthen, growing taller. Feeling rooted at your feet. Keeping your rib cage in. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, let's step back with that right foot, dropping the back knee. And this time, let's inhale the left arm up, taking a twist. Exhale, hand comes back to the mat. On your inhale, lifting the chest up, pressing to that foot. And you may want to try a little something here to strengthen your ankles by lifting up, pressing into the top of that back foot. And then lower down. Exhale, hands come to the mat. And step back into your plank. Exhale, let's come all the way down. Inhaling, lifting up for cobra, pressing the tops of the feet into the floor, relaxing the glutes. Inhaling, pressing into the hands. Exhale, dropping down, tucking your toes, and coming back into down dog. Let's step that left foot forward now, twisting to the right. Exhaling, bringing your hand down. On your inhale, pressing to the foot, lifting the chest. And coming forward on your exhale, stepping back into a plank. And this time let's come to a down dog. Inhale, lifting up the right leg and then opening the hip. Knee goes to the ceiling, foot is flexed. Let's take a couple circles with that knee. And then changing directions. Let's bring it down. Inhale, lifting up the left leg, opening the hip. Making our circles in one direction. And then switching directions. And then bring that foot down. Let's step the right foot forward. Let's open up to the right. Exhale, hand comes to the mat. Press into that foot. Inhale up for our lunge. Let's press into that foot. If you chose that option earlier. Exhale, coming down. Hands come to the mat. Come back into a plank. Let's come all the way down. Inhale, lifting. And then press into the hands. Relaxing the glutes. Just lifting out of the spine. Bringing the belly forward. Exhale, coming back down. Tucking the feet. Back into our down dog. Stepping that right foot forward. Twisting to the left. Hand comes back down, pressing into that foot. Inhale up. Exhale, hands come to the mat. And let's step forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Lengthening that spine. Lifting the tailbone. Exhale, fold forward. Hands come to the mat. Lifting those hips. Press your hands into the floor. And inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, hands come down. Let's step that right foot back for a high lunge. Inhaling, arms up. If you ever feel off balance, just widen your feet apart a little bit, as wide as your hip width. Keep pressing into that front foot, lifting that chest up, lifting out of the lower back. Open up for a warrior two, changing your alignment as needed, making sure your knee is over your front ankle and you can see your big toe. Keep reaching out of your arms, gazing out at your left fingertips. pressing to the outer edge of that back foot. And then let's cartwheel our hands down to the mat. Chaturanga. Knees are optional. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Traveling to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Pressing those hands into the mat. Then inhale, coming all the way up. Exhale, hands down to your sides. Step back with that left foot in our high crescent lunge. Keep pulling that left hip forward. Bending into that front knee. Let's open up for that warrior two. Keeping that right knee over the ankle, and you can see your big toe. Pressing into the outer edge of that back foot. Inhale, lengthen that spine, like your tailbone is being weighted down, but the rest of you is stretching up to the sky. And let's cartwheel our hands down to the mat. Plank. Let's come into a down dog. Inhale, lifting up that right leg, opening the hip. On your exhale, bring the knee into the chest. See if you can touch your nose with your knee. Inhale, bring it back. Keeping the hips level and just lift that leg up. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, bring the leg back. Open the hip up again. Exhale, bring the knee forward. Inhale up, high lunge. Warrior two. Dropping the back heel. Let's come into a reverse warrior. You can take a bind like I am. Bringing the hand behind you, or you can place it either above or below your left knee, just not on the knee. Opening up the side body, bending into that front knee. And then back to warrior two. Let's cartwheel our hands down to the mat. Back to our down dog. Notice our breath. Inhale, lifting up that left leg. Open the hip. Bring the knee forward to the nose. Inhale, bring it back, keeping the hips level. Lifting that leg just straight. Maybe you got a little more lift. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, bring it back. Open the hip. Exhale, bring the knee forward, planting the foot. Inhale up, high lunge. Bringing that right hip forward. Open up, warrior two. Adjusting your alignment as needed. It's usually front heel to back arch of the foot. But whatever your body is telling you works for you today. Reverse warrior. Warrior two. And cartwheel your hands down to the mat. It's chaturanga. Inhale, lifting the chest. Exhale, folding into our down dog. Step forward to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, hands to the sides. Just pausing here. Finding your breath. Finding your grounded state. Let's step back on an inhale with your right foot, lifting the chest. High lunge. Open up for a warrior two. Reverse warrior. Back to a warrior two. Straighten the front leg, coming into a triangle. Pulling those hips back. Finding length in that spine, pressing into the feet. Not dumping your weight down onto your bottom hand. Inhale, come up. Hands come to the heart. Let's bend into that back right leg. Coming into Skandasana. Looking at our front left toes. Your hands can be on the mat, or you can take a bind. Your choice. And then come forward, gazing at the left toes, pressing into the left foot. Back to our warrior two. Our next exhale, let's come into an extended side angle. Your hand can be on the floor, or you can have your forearm on your thigh. And really work to make a straight angle from your right fingertips down the right arm, down the whole right side of the body, pressing into the outer edge of that back foot. Inhale, come back up to your warrior two. Straighten that front leg. Let's step the right foot forward just a bit. Square our hips to the front. Inhale, lengthening the upper body. Hands at the hip creases. Exhale, folding forward for a pyramid. And maybe your hands come all the way to the floor. But keep bringing that left hip inward so it is over that same track that the left foot is on. Hands come to the hips. Inhale, lifting up and stepping forward. Pausing here, maybe noticing one leg feels longer than the other. Different sensations from both sides. Let's step that right foot behind you. Inhale, the arms come up into our high crescent lunge. And considering the internal rotation of the arms. Let's open up for that warrior two. And then reverse warrior. Remembering to breathe. Breathing where you're creating space. Back to warrior two. Straighten that front leg. Pull the hips back. Coming into our triangle. Inhale, come up. Back to our warrior two. Hands come to the heart. And start to shift your weight back into that left foot, bending into the knee. Taking the same arm placement you did on the opposite side. Pressing into that left foot, gazing at the toes, back to our warrior two. And coming back to that extended side angle on this side now, looking for that straight line. And having the option of bringing the hand to the floor. Keep lifting into those feet, keeping the hips in. And then inhale, come back up to your warrior two. Straighten that front leg. Let's step back halfway with that left foot. Inhaling, lifting the chest, hands are at the hips, hip creases. Exhale, fold forward. Taking your time. Pulling that right hip back. Inhale, lifting up. Stepping that foot forward. Let's step that right foot back, bringing the feet pointed to the long edge of the mat. Inhale, lifting that chest up. Lifting up the whole spine all the way to the top of the neck. Exhale, folding from the hip crease. Lifting those hips up. Hands can walk back between the legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands are right under the face. And now bring the hands to the hips. Inhale, lifting all the way up. And let's take that right foot, pointing it toward the short edge of the mat and bending down into that left foot. This is another Skandasana, but let's try to flatten our foot out a little bit. Keeping our hands on the floor and just kind of working ourselves into our hips, not so much into the balance of the pose. Finding that flexibility in the left ankle, finding flexibility in the hips. And the right thigh. And let's bring the hips up, walk the hands over. Let's do that on the other side. Just working your way through, trying to find the Skandasana that really works for you. Noticing any space you may be creating. Opening things up as we go in a safe, natural, and pain-free way. We might not always be comfortable, but we should not ever have pain. And then lifting the hips up. Inhale, coming all the way up to standing. Our legs are still wide. Let's bring our arms out long. And on our next exhale, folding forward. And taking your hands, taking our fingers, getting our big toe. Just exhaling into this fold. Keep lifting those hips, pressing the thighs back. Inhale, halfway lift. Bring the hands to hips. And then inhale all the way up. Stepping forward to the front of your mat. Bring your big toes to touch. Heels are apart. Let's inhale our arms up, bending the knees, coming to our chair. Hands come to the heart. Let's twist to the right. Pulling that left hip back. So the knees stay together. Maybe even shifting more weight into the left foot. Keeping the weight in the heels of the feet. You should be able to lift your toes. Inhale, release back to center. On your exhale, hands come to the heart, twisting to the left, pulling that right hip back. Inhale back to center. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, stepping back into our plank. And let's lower down onto our forearms. Keeping the elbows under the shoulders. Now lift the hips up, walk the feet in, coming into a dolphin. Start walking the feet back out, back into our forearm plank. Keep pressing into the heels of the feet. Lift the hips up, walk back into another dolphin. Lift up the left leg. Bring it down. Lift up the right leg. Bring it down. Come up on your tiptoes. Walk the feet back out into our plank. Press up into a regular plank. And then to down dog. Stepping forward with the right foot, dropping the back heel. Inhale up for warrior one. Keeping the hips square to the front of the mat. Bring the hands behind you. Lifting the chest. Exhale, fold forward for humbled warrior. Inhale, pressing into that front foot. Lifting the arms. Bend a little deeper into that front knee. And then let's bring our hands to the mat and back to our down dog. Stepping the left foot forward, dropping the back heel, press into that front foot, into our warrior one. Take the hands behind you, opposite thumb on top. Inhale, lifting the chest. Exhale, coming forward for a humbled warrior. Inhale, pressing up. Inhaling the arms up overhead. Exhale, hands come to the mat. Holding. And come to our down dog. And then travel to the front of the mat. Bring the toes to touch, heels apart. Inhale up for chair. And release. Exhaling, folding forward. Stepping back for our down dog. Bring the knees in. Rolling back into a seated position. Pressing the thighs into the mat. Pressing the hands into the mat. Fully lengthening the spine. Exhaling, walking the hands forward. And release, walking the hands back. Let's take our right foot outside of the left thigh. Inhale the left arm up. Exhaling, twisting to the right. Keeping that left leg straight and activated. Toes are pointed up. Not pressing all your weight into that back hand. Trying to lift up with our core. And release, switching legs. Right or left foot outside of the right thigh. Inhale up the right arm. Exhale, twisting to the left. Right leg is active and straight. And release. Let's take a quick back bend. Bring the feet where you can just touch the heels of the feet, maybe hip width apart or slightly wider. Begin to press up into the feet, lifting up the tail. And your hands can be bound underneath, tucking your shoulders in, or just keeping them flat on the floor. Just keep pressing those feet in, into the mat, lifting those hips. And staying here for 5, 4, 3, keep pressing, keep breathing. 2, 1, staying for a complete exhale. And then release. Taking the feet mat width apart, knees together. And then start to windshield wiper the legs out. And coming into an inversion now. Maybe just waterfall for today. And maybe you want to do a shoulder stand or a headstand. Staying here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And complete exhale. And bring the knees in. Bring your arms out wide, dropping to the left, gazing out at your right. Inhaling, lifting the knees, and dropping them to the right, gazing to the left. And taking your left arm over to the right side, resting your head on your right bicep, closing the eyes. You have the option of staying in a formal shavasana or whatever position is comfortable for you. Finding a moment of gratitude. And then coming into a seated position whenever you are ready, with your hands to your heart and your eyes closed, having gratitude for all things, all the things that make sense and that do not make sense, for all have a place and purpose on this path we are on.